Today I will talk to you about our ChemAxon integration within Questel and Orbit IPBI. I will start briefly by telling you who is Questel and what are our tools before going into the details of the integration. So for those of you who don't know us, we are a company in the intellectual property. It actually started with the French telecom company, who were starting to aggregate patents, and in 1970, Questel became a spin-off and was created. We are now about 200 people worldwide working for Questel. And we have really two pillars. We have the software part, where we are a patent provider, data provider. We also have analytic tools, but also intellectual asset management, forecasting cost of your patent, and other IP software. The second pillar are services. We will have a legal platform where we will help you with consultants that can help you carry out freedom to operate, FTO, so the same state-of-the-art analysis or competitive analysis and so on. So really two pillars, the software and the consultancy. We are based all over the world, so 50% in Europe, 13 US, and we are expanding the team in Asia, China, Japan, Korea. So really our idea is to try and cover the whole intellectual property needs, going from an idea to how to have like an inventor portal discussing idea, collaborating on how to build an idea, how to protect it, and then how to make it an asset. And so today I will talk to you about the software part and more precisely intellectual property business intelligence, which we call IPBI at Questel. So focusing on IPBI, within IPBI we have various software depending on the needs. The main one, the one that is, was founded in 1970, is Orbit Intelligence, which is a patent database and analytical tool as well. We have Orbit Express to simplify it for easy patent search, R&D, and so on. And the second tool we have implemented, ChemAxon, is Orbit Intellixir, which is a software that is a standalone tool that allows you to import patent, article, clinical trial, Excel file, and so on to carry out analysis. You can import web data and so on. So the first tool I will present is Orbit IPBI. It's a patent database, and we have covering over 100 patent authorities, and our strength is really in terms of a translation into English. It's important to have a good patent database that covers all patent authority, but also what is important is the quality of the translation into English and having a lot of authorities that are translated into English. So that our key point is really the fact that we have a very good coverage. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but we work a lot into enhancing the data with all the litigations, great legal status data, corporate name, and so on. So that's really improving the quality of the patent coverage. So that's the background of the tool we have implemented ChemAxon into. So what we have done is that we have implemented exactly the structure that Daniel presented, pretty much. So we have the name to structure that we processed on pretty much our entire database. Mainly all technological domain that would be useful, but it's a wide database in which we have extracted all the molecule names, and that allows our users. So this project is due to be released in the summer, and so the advantage is that you could type one name and you would find the patent without having to type all the different possible name. So thanks to the ChemAxon tools that we have integrated, that's the first thing, is to be able to search for one name, whether it's a trade name, a UPAC name, a common name, and know that all the names are being searched. So we have implemented name to structure, GChem, and we have also implemented the Marvin.js editor to allow you to search for a substructure among the patent database, and to be allowed to, of course, draw your molecule, but also combine it with a keyword search or a technological domain search or a Chinese or maybe finding patents in a specific country with these molecules, and really do an extensive search to retrieve relevant patents. So then once you have created your dataset of relevant patents, it will be necessary to look at non-patent literature. Whether you're doing an FTO or a competitor analysis, is important to see if a competitor maybe didn't want a patent but wanted to block any potential patenting by releasing an article, or multiple reasons to analyze non-patent literature, and we find it can be tedious to do your patent search and the article search and the clinical trial search. So to be able to import non-patent literature with the patent literature to analyze and organize your documents. When you're going to analyze and organize the documents, you're often going to have to involve R&D and legal. Perhaps they want to analyze a claim, and the legal needs the help of the R&D to really interpret what's in the claims, and then be able to report to management and marketing. And really, our users are in the IP field, are really having to make the communication link between R&D, legal, management, marketing, and all of them have different knowledge of IP. So you really need to have the right tools and the right chart to get your information across. And so for that, this is the second tool in which we have integrated ChemAxon. And that is, it used to be, so that's the tool IntelliXear, which was created in 1997, specialized in analyzing patent with non-patent at the same time. So there's quite a lot of experience in this tool as well. So this is just a brief slide that shows all the sources you can analyze in IntelliXear, whether it's like all the common Web of Science, Scopus, SciFinder, but also all patent provider, Thomson Innovation, and so on. So really be able to merge everything in one to then extract the chemical names and go into the analysis. So I'm going to show you a few analyses we can do to have a better idea. So if you have imported, I don't know, patent article, clinical trials of a specific competitor or for a specific condition or time period, then you can see the top extracted molecules within your document. So looking at your document through the, let's say, the molecule filter. You can then, so these are automatic charts that you can have to first apprehend the data, look at the evolution over time. Is there specific molecules coming up? Or here we can see in 2013 there seems to have a bit more publication and all the molecules here. So to investigate, one very important chart will be the ability to compare assignees against molecule, who is working on which molecules. And of course these are, let's say, automatic charts, but you can clean up the molecule and of course group the assignee name. We see here a typical example where you would want to make sure that you don't mix the different Merck, or do you include the subsidiaries or not. So there is a processing work that needs to be done behind to make the data more relevant to you, but then can give you the opportunity to see, okay, I'm interested in this specific molecule, who's working on it, clicking and going what they do on this. So this is really more a competitive analysis. Again, having the ability to mix, so this is more on the article, to look at a network between molecules and assignees. Not looking at the concept, you can find assignees that are in similar field, because perhaps they talk in different vocabulary and it's not easy to find they are in the same field, but if they use the same molecule, then we will see them in the same cluster, in the same network. So that's interesting, again, to spot companies. Looking at technological domain, this is based on the IPC classification, which is standard classification in patent world, to be able to look at molecules in domain that they are not, or they are, and it can be interesting to see the different application that can jump to the eye. And this is a bit more advanced, but if you look at your document only through the molecules, you can start seeing some categories. So you would see here I've imported patent articles and clinical trials in the field of steroids. And when I look at it, I can see, so the coloring is automatic, but I can see that here I see hydrocortisone, prednisone, there's an anti-inflammatory steroid drugs. Here I can see androgen, estrogen, testosterone, so reproductive hormones. I can see here cholesterol, lipid, triglycerides, here like fat in the blood. I can spot some sugars here. And here is interesting because I see ibuprofen, aspirin, which are actually here anti-inflammatory non-steroid drug, which are completely detached from the other network. And that can give me an idea on now how to organize my documents and do proper categories to do a better competitor analysis. So here I could create some categories where, for instance, I say cortisone ring core, and I draw a cortisone ring core where I allow, so if I put hydrogen, there is no substructure. If there isn't, I authorize some variation on it to then really be able to say, okay, I'm interested in this core, who is working on it? And creating, so each of these categories are not automatic, they are created by the user on substructure to really go further into the competitor analysis. So that was all about the, carrying out in-depth analysis. Then you might need also to involve R&D and legal to discuss on document to help you with the categorization. And so we have like dedicated platform where the R&D can receive an email of documents to rate. They will click and access directly the document. It's a very simple interface. And here you can customize the interface so they can have highlighting colors. They can rate the document, comment, share documents, and help you in your categorization that was initially made on structure core to help you do better analysis after. And we have implemented also the chemical annotator from ChemAxon, where the R&D can have a reading help, where either you can hover over a name and see the chemical structure, or directly, as you can see here, I'll change this a bit better. Here you can go through the document, through the molecules, and quickly go back and forth to where the molecule is. So really have an in-depth tool to share and involve R&D and in some cases legal. So that was the wheel I presented at the beginning. So you can search your patent, merge with non-patent literature, analyze, involve R&D and legal to then create. So I didn't put more details here because we didn't involve ChemAxon for the report making function. But then to complete the loop, you create your reports that you can then just regularly update, or once you have established the workflow, you can have your dynamic report or interactive dashboard with, of course, export to standard Microsoft Office tool. So I think that's about everything we've done so far with ChemAxon. Thank you very much for your attention.
Just a brief question. So do you have a second level of verification after you use automated tools, whether from ChemAxon or other vendors, that an actual human being would look at what has been assigned or what has been annotated and verifies it? And how much do you need this?
So actually, well, I can go back to the slide, but actually this is the part I was trying to show, that initially everything is automatic. Then you create your own categories with substructure. And then when you read a document, you can modify, enrich your categories. And that's often why you involve the R&D actually, because our main user will most likely not be in R&D. That's why you need the R&D expert to go on each document and be able to tweak, enrich categories and so on. So it's yeah, that's the standard, let's say, workflow.